All right, now I want to run through the different kinds of charts that you can create. So, uh, first of all, to create a chart, you simply select data. We'll go into this later on exactly how to create a chart, but basically insert chart, and it'll show you all the different kinds that are available to you. Now, Google is really cool in that it'll suggest, here are the different types of charts you can use. So it knows, based on the data that we selected, that there are certain types of charts, bar graphs and the like, that may make more sense than others. For example, we probably wouldn't use a pie chart in something like this. And so that's why it's suggesting one of these. It's suggesting area line graph. It's suggesting row graph, column graph, and the like. So the different types of charts can be found under the Charts tab of the chart editor. So this includes line graphs, smoothed out line graphs. So, they don't have the harsh points that some of these do. Other things like this is a combination chart where it would have a line that goes through it if you had multiple data sets. This is a radar chart. I have never used this in my life. So honestly, I can't imagine when you use this unless it's literally for plotting radar points. Other types, you have the area. So this just simply shows the area that is included under a line that you pass to Google. So this might be useful if you're doing something and have a bunch of data that's growing on one another. So if you look at, there's something called a cohort analysis that you can do where this is commonly used, where you can see, let's wait for this to clarify. Yeah. So this is pretty commonly used in things like cohort analyses, where you can see group one is some level of people, group two like builds on top of that, and so forth. Column graphs, you all are probably familiar with. They basically just show a column. So here is, one piece of data, and the column goes up to whatever height it is, so that you can easily say, how do all these different pieces of data compare in terms of the number that you're measuring. Bar graph is the same thing as a column graph, just flipped on its head. Scatter plot is really interesting. So this can be great when doing statistical analysis. So you need two columns for this. All must be numbers, but basically, let's see. Try a live example. See what this is. So basically what you need is multiple points that you can plot against one another, so that they show up in the X and the Y. So this is the Y, this is the X axis. Basically the scatter plot allows you to see, how does the data that I'm looking at compare to a line, or how close is it, and the like. Scatter plots are commonly used in regression analysis. So if you want to see, how does our data fit a bunch of data points that we have, you can do something called a regression analysis, where you have a bunch of data points, like all of here, this is a better picture. You have a bunch of data points. All of those would be on a scatter plot, and then the line is the line that basically best fits the data you have. A pie chart is, it simply takes every piece of data that you have and says, if we had, think of it like a pizza. Like if you had a pizza with 8 slices, 5 of which were pepperoni, 3 of which were cheese, you would see like a very similar diagram here. And so you can do the 3D pie chart, you can do the donut chart, which is the same thing, just without the middle, with the middle taken out. We'll dive into more of this later. The other cool thing, so this won't work for us now, but Google has a geo chart where you can see different, so this is like a popularity density chart. So you can map this. This is something Excel doesn't have. And then trend charts. So this data, you can see, how is my data trending that I'm passing in? How is it trending? This is a candlestick chart. It's used a lot in statistical analysis. And then there are other kinds of charts, like you can use time, organizational chart, tree maps, tables, and the like. So those are all the different kinds of charts. We're going to quickly go into an example of how you can map the different countries' gold medal totals against one another, how they stack up, and the like. So stay tuned. We'll move into that next.